Okay, so it seems I've already got a few questions coming through, even though this is just the early days of this channel. And so I thought I'd quickly just do a Q&A for you all. So the questions go, what motivated you to work out? Now, my original motivation was uh, a while ago. It was for those of you in England, year 7 or year 8, and for those of you not in England, when I was probably, what age are you in year 7? About 12 maybe younger. So in that time I was the tallest, one of the tallest in the year, and I was also the skinniest. Like, I was a tall twig, and people used to call me Green Giant and Beanpole and things like that. And I was in the geek nerd class, where we were like not really taken seriously, etc., etc. So I was in that area, and it came to strength training in PE. And obviously, since we were so young, strength training was all body weight exercises, and when you tried to show your strength off between one another, you couldn't see who could lift the most, so you done simple things like arm wrestles, etc. So it came to a day where it was strength training and we were comparing our strength. Now the teacher basically was getting us to do official arm wrestles, so the whole start in the middle, one arm behind your back, don't lean, keep yourself straight, yada yada yada. And so through that day I tried to avoid all the stronger guys in the class, or who were stronger guys in the class. So I was going against all my mates and stuff, and I was winning. And then I eventually ran out of opponents who I knew, so the teacher just said I had to go with the other guys. So I started to go against the other guys, working up from what I saw as the weakest one, and eventually the class ended. But then during the point while I was going against these other guys, the strongest guy in the year came up to me and was like, "Oh, I really want to arm wrestle you. You seem quite strong." And obviously I could see a cocky glint in his eye, so I could see he was trying to put me in his place, put me in my place. And so I tried to avoid this, and I managed to, as far as I was concerned. So teacher dismissed us, we started to go to changing rooms. However, this guy, he shouted out to me. The teacher basically told everyone to stay behind, and he made us both get on the ground and arm wrestle. So long story short, I won, and everybody was cheering on for him during the match. And then he was really shocked. He was glowing red, and I was straining a little, but I wasn't exactly a challenge. So that kind of feat of strength made me feel good about myself, and then from then on I looked into I discovered bodybuilding and things like that, and then it just spurred on from that moment. So that was my main motivation. It was what spurred it on. But now what motivates me to work out is just to get better than I already am. So what reactions you have got to strength and muscle gains? Now, I do get a few weird reactions, like at school, of the teachers got me to move a bookcase for him, and so I just fully laden, I just moved it myself, and You know, when in school they're like, oh, two of you need to carry this, I can just carry it on my own and stuff. When I was younger, and now it's just more. But I don't really wear too revealing clothes when I go out to places. So in terms of muscle gain, I don't actually get much notices. I've probably had one or two when I've accidentally stretched or flexed or something, and they've been quite surprised. But in terms of strength, the reactions are quite funny, where they're just generally shocked and scared, probably. But yeah. So, how have your stats changed, both in lifts and measurements like chests? Now, that's the thing. When I lift, I don't like to look at what I lift. I like to just put the weight on to the rack or whatever I'm doing and see if that's too heavy or light enough, and then I'll just carry on. And then if eventually I get lighter, I just add more. And the thing is, I like that because it stops me from getting too complacent, because I've seen people my age and they're just like, oh, I can squat, I don't know, what's a decent number, I can leg press over 100 kg, and so they stay at that point and then they get too complacent, so it doesn't push them to go forward. So to prevent that, I don't look at what I actually do. And in terms of measurements, body measurements, they've changed a bit. So when I started, I had 11, 12-inch biceps, and now I've got to about 16. And legs, my legs have always been relatively large, but again they've grown with my body. And yeah, so the measurements have gone quite well, but I don't really notice them too much. Do you get a shock sometimes when catch a reflection in a mirror or a window? I don't. That's a good question. Like, I don't look in mirrors on purpose. I don't. I'm not the type of person who would just go look at myself in a mirror, flex, do that. The only time I flex is to show people when they ask, and that's why I done this video channel. I was asked to do it, so that's why I done it. But I do sometimes just like catch it in the corner of my eye. Generally, sometimes I'm quite shocked, and it makes me feel good about myself. However, sometimes I just look at myself and I feel bad. Like, I feel that I'm not big enough. I need to do better, and I kind of critique myself. So yeah, sometimes I get a shock, but sometimes it's more disappointment. Do you notice changes in physique in clothes you wear, as he posted about getting tighter? Do you notice changes in physique you wear, as he posted about getting tighter? If you mean, do I notice clothes getting tighter? Yeah, I do. Like, a good example is my jeans. That they're generally quite tight on the quads anyway, and there aren't many shorts out there that fit me. I've got 2 pairs of 3/4, and that's it. Like, 3/4 of what fit me. All the shorts are kind of tight, so they either can't get past my quads, or they just can't get past my quads. So yeah, and shirts get tighter around my arms, my back and stuff. So, and then, what do you want to achieve? What I want to achieve is, it may be quite cliche, but it would be to get this body that I'm in to be at its best peak, and that would be where I'd want to be. So yeah, I think that's it. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.